Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. My name is Jasmine.
And my name is Marilyn.
And we're so excited to come back here again and share with you another podcast.
Yes. So, very excited to talk to you guys today about the question of the day. And be sure to remember to reflect, to think about this question on your own of like, how would I answer this question if I were to be asked this? And also be sure to follow us on our socials, and to as well, if you guys need any advice or want to share your story or want to answer one of our questions, be sure to either, you can comment it down below in like one of our Instagram posts, or if you guys want to be part of the podcast and have your story be read, you guys can go to the link in our bio on Instagram and fill out a Google form.
Yeah, please feel free to like interact, submit your submissions, DM us, comment. We mentioned before, I feel like we say this all the time, we're really just trying to build that community. So be a part of it. Don't be a stranger, don't be a fly on the wall. Like,
yes,
be comfortable and feel welcome to do so.
Yes. All right, you guys, so let's get on to the question. And also, I don't know if we said this, but welcome back to our Wish You Love podcast. I'm not sure if we said that, but if not, there it is. All right. So the question of today, and Jasmine is going to start us off with, and I'm very excited to hear what she's going to say because I didn't know Jasmine 5 years ago. So the question is, how have you changed from the person you were 5 years ago?
Well, first of all, yeah, that's going to be interesting because we really didn't know each other. So we'll get to kind of hear who we were in the past and where we're at now. Marilyn and I met each other, this version of each other. Okay. I would say 5 years ago, I'll start off with this one. 5 years ago, Jasmine loved being around a lot of people. Making a lot of friends. Jasmine still loves that to this day. I'm still a super social person. I love making friends and connections. But I would say the importance and the quality has become more important to me than it was before. I realized that I genuinely want to be surrounded by genuine, positive, fulfilling people. They may not necessarily fully be like me, but for the most part, like, I think I've been a little bit more selective on the people I call friends, the people that I like genuinely like check in on and like share with others, like, oh, this is my friend, because, you know, I've really taken the time to think about that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Marilyn and I were able to click. I don't know if you remember this, but when we first hung out after the wedding, I had told you how much of a struggle it was becoming for me.
I do remember, yeah.
Because I was just started to realize the importance of that. Like, I don't want to just be your friend because we have a class together, or because like I want it to be a little bit more meaningful. I want to be able to like be your friend because of this, but then also be a friend because of that, and just, you know, find like genuine connection, as well as like, you know, small circle over big circle. You know, it's great to know a lot of people. You can have a lot of people that you know, but when it comes to like genuinely calling them like your best friends or someone that you know, like, I feel like I've learned that throughout the past couple of years, and have started to set those boundaries to be like, okay, this is my coworker, this is my friend, but she's not a friend, and really just identifying those type of people in my life.
Yeah, I think titles, at least for me, are very important, because it's like some people are acquaintances, where it's like you guys know each other, like kind of like work, right? They could be acquaintances, like you guys are on good terms, you guys talk every once in a while, but you're not my friend, but you're not any less, you're not like a stranger, like you're not at that level. So just like acquaintances, friends. I also have the level of good friends, and then best friends, and then like obviously there's the next level of like sisters, or I sometimes will say like you're my soul friend. Like you know, you just feel like you've known each other for so long, you're like me. Like another part of me. So yeah, I think so too. I was thinking when you were talking, like back in high school, like how you just wanted to be friends with absolutely everybody.
Yes.
And like why? I feel like I was friends with everybody in high school, and it was okay. But now looking back, I'm like, I didn't have to be. Like, why did we make it so important?
That made us friends other than
we went to the same school.
Yeah, went to school, or we both had PE first period, or we were in cheer, dance together.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if you feel like this, or if anyone listening feels like this, but I feel like I'm just in a chapter in my life now where it's like I'm ready to get married, I'm ready to have kids, and it makes me think like, okay, is this person gonna like come over and like be involved and be present in my life, or are they just like they just hang out with me to go drink or something, you know? Like, I don't know. That's what I mean by being a little bit more selective on who I surround myself with, who I genuinely call, like, give those titles to.
Yeah, I think also thinking about like getting married and like a wedding, I really want to emphasize at that time, like when I'm engaged and stuff, like really emphasizing on people, just because you're not invited to the wedding doesn't mean that I don't care for you. It's just that the people I feel like, and this goes for like entering your home, like being around your children, going to your wedding, those people should be hand selected, not a distant relative you don't talk to, not somebody you don't get along with, but you have to for political family reasons. Like, it should be hand selected people that you want to view your special day. And I guess that's in a great way to think about like your life too. Like, I should hand select people to be in my life because my life is worthy of having great people. You know, why would you have people that make you feel like crap? You know?
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, you know, I've always been like a friendly person. I've always made friends fast, but I'm just like, the selection of it for important things now are different. I think that's where I've changed, where it's like, yeah, like I remember for my quince, like I had invited almost 30 plus people. Jeez. Just because it was like, oh, I go to high school with them, I'm gonna see them tomorrow. Like, and then looking back now, it's
wait, did you say 30 or 300?
30.
Oh. I don't know why I was like, that's a big school. I was like, wait, I just heard 3 and I didn't know which 3 it was.
No, 30. Yeah, and then now it's like, I don't want, like, I want like, yeah, like hand selected people, like people that, like, if you tell me who are my friends, I can go, okay, ABC, like I know who it is, not like before where I would be like well, this one's kind of and this one's not, like, you know, it's just it's there. But that's one. I think another one, I've mentioned this before in one of our episodes, but Angel has shown me like a different way of viewing things, and I think now I can see how I'm different. 5 years ago, like I mentioned, I was on like schedule mode, right? I had school, I had work, I had this, I had that. Now I still have it, but I've learned to, well, graduating college, after, I remember going into like a, what did they say? They say like post-grad depression or whatnot.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that.
And I think, again, reflecting on it, Angel sat with me and he was just kind of like, okay, you've always done everything that you need to do. What is something that you want to do? Forget about the like ABC, like work, school, like, okay, that's everything that you're doing, but what's something that you genuinely want to do?
That's a good question.
And so I feel like fast forward to now, I'm incorporating that in my life now, right? This podcast included, right? It was something that we wanted to do, that we genuinely were like, hey, like, this has nothing to do with school, with work,
right?
With,
the
like,
stresses,
our you know, adult things. This is just something that's like a fun, free thing that like we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I'm trying to incorporate that more now. I'm still figuring things out. I'm still trying to, you know, plan and see like what are some things that I can get myself into. Like, should I take a pottery class? Should I like do Zumba? Like, you know, like I'm starting to incorporate those fun things in my life that I feel like Jasmine 5 years ago didn't, because she was just too, it was a good thing and a bad thing, but too focused and determined that she wasn't taking care of like the fun side.
I feel like that's exactly where I am now, of like always on work mode, at least for the master's program, just all the time, like just goal driven. And like you said, that's not a bad thing, but it is when you're like super stressed and like you have no fun outlet. So at least my therapist, she always is like, well, what are you doing for fun? And I'm like, what time do I have for fun? But yeah, like kind of being intentional of just making sure like today I'm just gonna watch my favorite movies and bake cookies and maybe invite a friend over, or like doing this podcast, like doing things that are just relaxing and bring you happiness. So important to your mental health, because if you just keep going on work mode, it's like you're gonna kill yourself. At least that's what I feel, you know, during the semester. I hope I take this advice when I start school again in late August. We'll see. You guys will see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like one of the beauty of like me being with Angel, because he's like shown me that like his music is his outlet. That's his happiness, you know, aside from his responsibilities as like a son or a, you know, a boyfriend or going to work. Like music is his outlet, and I feel like I'm now starting to realize the importance of that. And like, okay, like I need to start finding that for myself, and this is one of them. So
right. And I will say, sometimes I think some things need your full attention, like your degree. Like maybe if you know, it sounds horrible, but this is how I think, at least for myself. Like maybe if you gave yourself too much leniency, you wouldn't have graduated on the timely manner that you did, or didn't graduate with the grades that you did, you know. So I feel like sometimes when something, although it's like tedious and there's a lot to do, sometimes it's so important that you do need to like kind of sacrifice that time. But I mean, hey, like now you're out of it, and I think that's what he was like trying to say, like, hey, you're like done with that, like have fun now.
Yeah.
Celebrate that you just work now.
I know, it was like I would go to work, I would clock out, and then it was like, okay, now what? I'm so used to like I have my sorority,
I can't wait to do
I have
that.
this.
Yeah.
So now just like incorporating different things like that. Yeah.
Love that.
It's different. Yeah, I mean, just overall, like I mentioned, like I think because I'm a people person, I'm focusing on that aspect, just keeping genuine people and understanding. I think this is like a big one. I feel like Jasmine 5 years ago wanted to keep everyone that was in her life there. She didn't want people to leave, right? I like, it was very sad to see people like leave, you know, move out or not be friends with anymore. And I think now, 5 years forward to where I'm at now, like I understand that now. It's still sad. I still love and remember everyone that was in my life, regardless of the reason. But I think the overall understanding of it is like here, and like more like I get it now. Like it's like, okay, like this is the person that I forever will love, but that was meant, like that person was meant to be in that chapter, and she was meant to leave. And it's still hard, you know, but I think, like I said, just the overall understanding. And I think we mentioned this once as well, like wishing no harm or nothing. Like there's still a lot of love for all those people that come and go, but just knowing that that's just what it is. That's life. People will come and go, and be there for different chapters.
Right.
But yeah, those are mine.
I love that. Those are good. Did you give 3? I think you did.
Yeah, I think 3. Yeah.
Okay. I listed 3 too. So after every 1 and then 2, you can like add in your little. I feel like sometimes I just keep going. Okay. All right.
Sometimes I don't like to interrupt your flow. She's like a writer, right, guys? So she has it. Like,
I write it down.
It's like an essay that's perfectly crafted. Oh my God. So I'm like, I don't want to be that person to be like, but
wait. Yeah, I am a writer, and it does actually look like an essay. That's so embarrassing to say. It's okay though. It is what it is at this point. All right. So for me, this question of how have you changed from the person you were 5 years ago was a hard question to answer because everything changed in 5 years for me. 5 years ago today, I would have been with Anthony for only a few months, which is so crazy. I've been with him for 5 years now, a long time. We got together in April of 2018. I was still getting my associate's degree. Now I'm getting my master's degree. Still living with my grandparents. I live by myself now. Mickey was obviously still alive, and I was only 20 years old. Throughout all of those big life changes, such as finding my person, moving out, getting a few degrees, and mourning Mickey's death, I have changed tremendously. I've changed in how I present myself, how I carry myself, how I see the world, how I live. I mean, everything. I think 5 years ago, I was so kind and so bubbly and just innocent. I couldn't understand like why somebody would want to hurt me. I don't think I had a good grasp on like how the world worked like that. I just was very, and that's what I meant, like an innocent, like, because I wouldn't want to hurt somebody. So like, why would somebody want to hurt me? Of course, not what I don't mean like murders and all that stuff. I did believe in all that stuff. But I meant like somebody that's acting like they're your friend. Why would you want to hurt me? You're my friend type of thing. You know, that was like my headspace. It was very childlike, I would say. Which is crazy because I was 20 already at that point. But I guess I have always considered myself like kind of a late bloomer and all that stuff. So I feel like now I am much more guarded and more serious. I feel like obviously I'm still kind and I'm still, I think, bubbly, but I feel like I am not just always just blatantly kind, if that makes sense.
I feel like, I know you've mentioned this before to me. It kind of ties in with like your boundary settings.
The boundaries, yeah.
Yeah, like you've learned that and are like, hey.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone is as kind as me.
Yeah.
And I need to learn to just put myself first.
Exactly.
Set those boundaries.
Yeah, I had no idea what a boundary was or how to set them. If anything, I was probably scared too. I was a very scared child up until like now, probably. But I was a vlogger at the time, and you can definitely see in my YouTube videos, the vlogs, and you can see my personality was so different even back then, and just more kid-like. So I feel like I'm always giving lists in these episodes. That's why I asked if you were doing 3. But I feel like, I don't know, I just like lists. So I have 3 ways as to how I changed from 5 years ago. So number 1, I value my time here on earth more. There has sadly been a lot of death in my life, and with death comes a realization that our time here on earth could end tomorrow. Something about sitting in all of those funerals from 2020 to 2022 really struck a chord with me, and that I have learned to appreciate the people in my life and really try to stay present and be in the moment. Seeing those pictures, like kind of in the like rosary, you know, seeing the pictures of someone's life, and made me really realize like, wow, like that probably went by really fast, you know. And I don't want to have any regrets. I need to live for myself and tell those that I love you. I feel like we are always rushing on to the next thing, and I'm still striving to just slow down. So yeah, that was my first one. I feel like we both struggle with that. We were just talking about it, like being goal driven. It's a good thing and a bad thing, because you always have something else you need to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you mentioned like going to those funerals, and the thing that I was thinking about right now, and sometimes I think too, it's like, picture yourself, you know, in there. Like, how do you want people to like react to it, right? Do they want to like, how do you want people to talk about you when you're there, right? You want to leave the like good stuff and like know that you did everything that you wanted to.
You left a good impact.
You left a good impact, like, you know, everything.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Number 2, I value my time and my presence, which was the same thing, kind of like what you were saying, you know, with the people that you were surrounding yourself with. I feel like I wasted so much of my time on people that didn't deserve my time, kind of like a little bit like how you were saying. My best friend always tells me, who wouldn't want a Marilyn in their life? And when she says that, it makes me think, wow, I need to see myself how Renee sees me. Because I think like, yeah, I would love to have me in my life. That sounds so like cocky, but it's true. Like, because I know how I care for my friends, and I would want a friend that cares for me like I care for my friends, if that makes any sense. But once you start looking at yourself, how your best friend views you, I promise you, you will value your time much more. I mean, I hope you have a good best friend. I mean, I feel like in high school you kind of struggle with that because you don't really know, sometimes, you know, but sometimes kids don't really know what a real best friend is, you know?
No, that's where you have to sit down and think about the quality over the quantity.
Yeah.
And then once you detect that best friend,
yeah,
like you said,
I feel like if I had this podcast when I was in high school, it would definitely help me. And because I would think about this question and I would like write it down, you know? I think it's really helpful for like self-growth to do reflections all the time.
100%.
Yeah. Some people don't deserve to have you in their life, and that's okay. But it's up to you to make sure that whoever you are spending your precious time with adds value in your life and will do nothing but bring light, and hopefully you do the same. So I love that we said the same thing. I mean, you literally said the same thing. So it just kind of rings true around our age of like, I guess this is probably when the time people start realizing that.
Yeah. And like, I think we're both people. So it was kind of hard for us to like understand that, like, hey, like, we need to set those boundaries. We gotta reflect and like really like choose. I love how you said that. Give them titles. Yeah. It does sound like kind of weird, but it's true, right? It's like, you could be my closest coworker, but you might not necessarily be my best friend. Yeah.
No,
Or in that, you know, right now I don't. But you're still someone you're super special and that I love and that I see.
Right. Exactly. My third one is, and we kind of talked about this, was I have boundaries set in place and live my life how I want to live it. I don't owe anyone anything. I have so many people in my life trying to tell me how to live, and for so long that affected me. I don't know if this is maybe a Latina thing, because there's a lot of pressure from parents of just being perfect. Honestly, that is what I mainly struggle with, is perfectionism, but that's still a struggle. Their words held such weight on me to the point of making me sick with guilt or dread, but not anymore. I can finally say that they do not have that power over me, and I don't owe anyone anything. To be real, like, I thought I owed people things, like, you know, like, oh, I owe them that. That's my friend. Oh, I owe them that. That's my grandma. No. No. You don't owe anybody anything. It's your life. If you don't want to do that, don't do it. Do you want to do it? Okay, then do it. Like, that's how I talk to myself now. It sounds very, like, older sister-esque, but it's how I have to talk to myself, kind of.
I can picture you with your Harry Potter mirror. Like, just
my Harry Potter mirror, the mirror bearer said. I have the mirror bearer said, and yeah.
I don't watch Harry Potter, so I just call it the Harry Potter mirror.
The Harry Potter mirror. I'm sure they would know. But I have one life, and I'll be damned if I continue living it for someone else's pleasure, because at the end of the day, they go to sleep fine and dandy, and I am over here crying myself to sleep because of the words that they said to me. Nope, not anymore. After 5 years, I can say that I have grown stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And I know that 20-year-old Marilyn would be so proud. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think I have seen like clips of your previous, even just like your Instagram and like the things you would post, right? It's very different now. There's a different Marilyn that's, you know, evolving throughout the last couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're both on the same path on like, we have very similar like
ideologies. Yeah.
And it's nice because I think, like I mentioned before, like that's one of the reasons why I think we just got along. So it's like we get it. Like we do want to do this. Like,
right.
we're both goal oriented. We're both people, like, everything. But we also are learning to incorporate like those boundaries, those doing things for yourself, you know, finding the pleasures in life that aren't necessarily adult-like commitments.
Right, exactly. I mean, I feel like adults back then didn't let themselves have fun. I hate that saying of like, when you become a mother, your life is over. And I was listening to a podcast. It's called Going Through It, if you guys want to check it out. It's a really good one. And it was kind of like, my life doesn't have to end just because I get married. My life doesn't have to end just because, you know, I have a child. Like, that should be an add-on to your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you should always take care of yourself. And of course, I don't have a child, but I understand, like, when you have one, it's probably your whole world, you know, and they require a lot of attention. But you do have to make sure that you're okay as well, because how are you going to deplete yourself of happiness and give them happiness as well? It's just not going to work. Like, you need to make sure that you're in a good headspace so that you can be in a good headspace to raise your child. At least that's how I think of it.
No, yeah. You made me think of like this conversation I had with Angel, and it involved my parents.
Aww.
Kind of.
Oh, sorry.
So, like, for example, just a thought, like, or what it made me think about, like, I know Angel and I have talked about, like, okay, when we're gonna get married, we want to give ourselves 2 years before bringing a kid. At first I was very kind of like old school, like, no, I'm ready to be a mom, like, why are we waiting, like, whatnot, until I realized like his side, which was, but I want to enjoy us first as like a married couple, and then we can bring, you know, this new baby into the world where we can like fully give it attention. But he also mentioned, and I love it, like the importance of, but we're still gonna try to do date nights, or we're still gonna try to, like, you know, have my mom or his mom. And I remember telling my mom, and yeah, I guess sometimes it's hard for people, like, she, you know, a little bit was like, what? No, like, once you have a kid, like, you have to like put your full focus. And I had to like explain to her, like, yes and no, like, yes, I will be like the best version of a mom that I can be, but I'm also not going to like take some time for myself or for my husband, or, you know, like, you gotta set those boundaries too. And yeah, your life does not end because you get married, or, you know, like I told Angel, like, I'm still gonna hang out with Marilyn without you, even if we're married, or you know, I'm still gonna go on my hot girl walks by myself. Like, no, we're get married, or if we have a baby or whatnot.
Yeah, and of course, obviously, I think we know that things get complicated when you have a baby, because like a babysitter, and like you want them to be safe and all that stuff, but like you can find a way, like, be creative. I feel like women for so many freaking years, and I feel like this is a feminist in me, have just been sacrificial lambs in all of it. Like, you get married because you have to, right? And then you end up marrying like a horrible freaking person, and then you can't divorce because you can't, because divorce is bad. And then you stay with that person and then raise your kids all messed up. And it's like, I'm tired of the sacrificial lamb story of women. Like, no. Like, I'm gonna get married on my own terms. I'm gonna have kids on my own terms. I'm gonna live my life on my own terms. Like, isn't that so wild that we can decide what we want to do with our lives? Like, Mom, is it that crazy that I want to have girls' night once a month? Isn't that crazy that I want to go on a walk while they're still sleeping? Like, that's so wild. And that's sad that that's wild.
And I don't think people, like, it is hard for like older generations, for like our parents and stuff to like understand it. Because they're just, you're gonna get married and not have kids. And I'm like, no,
right away.
It's gonna.
Yeah, they'll be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like, why even get married? It's like, no.
Why even get married when? It's, oh my God.
No, there's more to it, and just really setting up those like boundaries, and like, you know, living for yourself as well.
Right, exactly. Oh, I don't know how we got onto that from
I know.
us 5 years ago.
We're talking about like that's not even gonna happen until like years from now.
I know,
but
maybe we'll be talking about that in 5 years.
We'll
Be like, oh my
revisit
gosh,
this,
we
maybe.
didn't have kids.
I know, right?
I don't know when I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna be real. I mean, I don't even know when I'm gonna get married. I don't know.
I kind of have mine in the works.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, that's the
As you
thing.
do,
I,
the
I
goal.
like I plan everything, right? I'm just like, okay, I have a kind of a timeline.
You're like, yeah. And it's like, imagine it's like a whole like chronological order of when things are gonna happen. Like, Angel, this is how it's gonna happen. Here you go, take care of it.
I know.
I love that though.
The venue, okay?
Yeah, the venue. It has to be a spring wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
We have changed, and you know, I wonder if Marilyn 5 years ago and Jasmine 5 years ago would still
I think so.
be on the same
I think so.
energy. I think so too, but I'm curious to see how that friendship would have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you would have really liked me 5 years ago. I mean, I was just a ball of energy.
Oh.
That's really. I'm older now. I'm all tired.
This is a grad school.
That was community college, Maryland. This is grad school. 2 different animals for sure. I didn't even care if I got a C on an assignment. I'm like, ooh, I did it. And like now, if I get like a 95, I'm like, why? Why didn't I get 100? Oh my gosh, it's so different now. But yeah, I love this. So make sure to think about how you were 5 years ago and where you are now. How have you grown? Maybe how have you not grown? And maybe even just assess that as well. That's a great question to think about. Like, how have I not changed from 5 years ago? I feel like I've changed in all ways though, to be honest. Just because too many transformational things have happened. But there are, of course, like from 15 to 20, you might have said less things because that is still a time of like not too many things are changing. You know, you're still in high school and like you just got out of high school. So it's like depending on where you are in life, you know, your answer could be different.
Yeah, and I think also, again, this might be like the planner in me, but maybe also think about what are ways you hope you could change even more, right?
Yeah.
I feel like change never stops. Like you can be 55, married, with kids already, like, you know, doing your thing, and that doesn't mean like change ends. Like it still continues to come, and just really important to reflect on your past, your present, and your future.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Maybe in another episode we'll talk about future selves.
How do we want to see each other 5 years from now?
Yeah, and then look back 5 years ago and we're like, ooh, that didn't happen. Or that happened better than we thought.
Yeah. Or hey, that changed.
Yeah, that changed. I know. I mean, we're recording this ahead of time than you guys are listening to it, but it is crazy like thinking back just a year ago. I feel like every year is just such change, at least for me. Maybe I'm going through a lot of changes, but at least in your 20s, it's such an exciting time because you're an adult, yet you're still like trying to make things work because you're like not an official adult, quote unquote. Like you don't have like a mortgage and like a marriage. I don't know. I think that's how I think of adults. But then maybe when I get married, I'll still be like, I don't feel like an adult yet. I don't know. Adults feel so different for me.
Yeah.
I know I'm an adult, but it's like,
I think
I'm
we're
not
like
my
right
mom.
in the like middle right now.
Yeah,
Like in
like,
that in between.
The in-between. Young adult.
And young, yeah.
Even though technically I'm not even a young adult. Young adults are like, I heard like 20 to 22 or something like that.
We're a mid-adult. I think
They're like, no, you're an adult. Like, come on.
Stop giving yourself titles.
Title. Yeah, I'm for sure an adult. I mean, I'm 25. I mean, it's halfway to 30. It's half of a millennium or whatever. Century. Millennium, what the hell? Century.
Yeah.
Half a century years old, so I think I know a lot of stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But, oh my goodness. Do you want to end it off?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of
reflecting. I'm still thinking about things right now, you guys. Like, I'm like, I kind of changed in that way too.
Yeah, my cheeks hurt from smiling so much.
I guess, yeah, like we said, it just never stops. Like, just keep reflecting, journaling, come back to it even a day or a couple hours later, because I'm sure you'll still find other things to add and think about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on this podcast episode. Again, take some time to go over that question, reflect through it, follow us on all our socials, comment, engage with us, really be, present here with us, building that community. And yeah, we hope to, see you guys, and hope you guys see us and listen to our podcast.
See or hear us.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. But yeah, we love you guys, and above all else, we wish you love.
Bye guys.
Bye.